I hope you enjoyed today's video, but before we get started, please subscribe and remember to hit the bell for notifications. See you soon.
Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Hope it's a good morning to you. We've been out kind of early this morning. Last sunshiny day, then we're going to get a bunch of rain. So up here in Washington already, we had 44 last night, I think. So it's kind of changing on us real quick. But anyhow, this is my solar, I guess bracket you'd call it, or solar mount. So this is actually going to mount up on top on some stainless steel railing. So the stainless steel railing will go up and mount on first, and then this, which is all aluminum, a mount on top of that. And so like I say, what I use, it's a 2x2 3/16, because this is going to be kind of big, and it's got 3 cells in it, so I didn't want it wobbly. So, and this is that aluminum weld stuff that you can use. You know, you heat it up and put it in there, and I really didn't believe in it because it's really not melting nothing, it's just heating it up to a high temperature. But you know, on YouTube I've seen people do it and it seemed like pretty strong, and I was going to use it and then put a bolt anyhow. Well, I did it and it cracked apart. You can see it cracked up on that one, and I don't know if this was just too big, but so anyhow, and I tried it, cleaned it off and tried it a couple times. I thought no way, and so everything's got a 3/8 nuts in it, and then I wanted something to keep it from moving, so I put a 5/16 with it, and these are all stainless steel, so nothing should rust, and that's everywhere. And then when you make this and square it up, okay, so when you put something together and you want it square, so you go from this corner to this corner. See, I got 140 3/4, and so the same thing, go from this corner across, and I got 140 3/4, so it's square. But here's the thing, you know, everything looks good on the movies and on the videos, but so I got this squared up and then start drilling and bolting and all that, and I didn't check it. So then I get it put together and try to put a sail in, and it did slide in, but then I had like an inch gap here and like a quarter down there. So I checked it, and then I was like 141 5/8 and 140 1/4. So it moved on me. So then what I had to do this morning, spend an hour and a half taking a lot of the little nuts and bolts out, loosening all the big ones, squaring it back up, and then tighten 2 corners. And then went and tightened these 2 corners, and it was still square. Then I put it all back together. So, you know, it all looks nice right now, but you know, it took an extra couple hours to make it square after I had it square. So just check things before you button them down, you know. It's just one of those things. Some things happen. But anyhow, so we've got 3 of these, 305, I think they are. That's going to go in here, and they'll bolt up through the back, and they fit pretty tight. I should have gave them a little bit more room, but I didn't. And then like this, so down here on my actuators, these are what's going to lift it. So I've got 2 actuators that are going to be mounted on the roof, and they'll kind of squeeze up in between there, and that's what's going to lift my sails up to tilt them. And each one of these, it says it's rated at 225 pounds. So, you know, time I get this all together, it should be maybe 100 pounds, so it shouldn't have no problem lifting them. So down here I needed some flat stuff, so since I already had this, and I cut this with just my regular blade, wood blade, but I changed it to an old one because it does cut but aluminum is sticky. So I took it and ran it through my table saw to cut the edge off of it. So I made flat stuff like this. And then I used my radio arm saw to cut it this way. Well, because like I say, it works real good, and as long as it's an old blade, you don't worry about burning it. But on my radio arm saw, like I say, aluminum is a little sticky. So my blade caught in it and it bent my whole blade, bent it about almost an inch. And so I shut it off, so good thing it was an old blade. And the thing with there's two different kinds of saws. The radio arm saw is a saw that you set something on a big table and pull it back, and it guides back and forth. Then you got the chop saw that comes down, and some of those are on a slide too. So if you got the one that just comes down, it would be better cutting this stuff, because like I say, it'll grab, and there were times where it jumped 2 inches out, maybe 3 inches, before it bound up and caught. So on a radio arm saw that just comes out on a glide, it's a little more dangerous, so just be a little more careful versus just a chop saw that just comes down and cuts it, because a chop saw is not going to come out 2 or 3 inches after your arm or something. So that's kind of a little tip on what might be a little safer for you, so that you keep your fingers. So, but what I did, I needed to make these little brackets for down here. So to mount my actuators, I had to make these little pieces. So the pieces that I cut off of here, I cut them down and bolted them on here, and then they come out here and bolt on here. And this was my first piece, but it was too short. It didn't stick out far enough here for those to clear out here, so I put them here. So as this pushes up, it's going to push on both of these two besides this. So it's just a little extra stiffener thing. But the same thing underneath the bracket, you can probably see it down here better. The bracket on this actuator, it got an angle back this way. Well, in my mind, I figured it'd be more support the reversed way, and that was bad, because then this thing didn't go all the way up. So then I had to unbolt all that and flip this back around and do it like it should have been. But so there's all little things that, when you do the videos, everything's all works fine and doing good. So there's little, like when I found those were backward, then it's like, here's 30 minutes I gotta do just to take the screws, and then the screws or the nuts and washers fall down in the grass, and now you lost them, and now you're getting more. And these stainless steel things, they're kind of spendy. I bet I got $60 in stainless steel bolts in this thing. So when you drop in the grass and you're trying to find it, I found most of them. There's only a couple down there.
We need to get the magnet out.
Yeah. I don't know if stainless steel,
It's steel.
but it's a different kind. So we'll have to find that out. So maybe somebody can tell us. I don't think stainless steel picks up with a magnet, but maybe it does. We'll find out. But anyhow, so there's the first video of this, because I hope to get the railing up on top there and it bolted down first part of this week or sometime this week, and then I'll get this up there, and then this bolts to my railing, because there's two railings that's going to go down first, and then this bolts onto them and sets on top of them, so it can actually lift up and come down, and we'll have a little tray that this comes down in, and then some locking pins and stuff like that. So we'll have a few more videos on the solar system, but this is the first thing, so I guess it'd be our solar frame. So I guess the time's getting short, sun's getting up in my eyes, so we gotta go. We'll catch you on the next one.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.